Straight ahead on 12 News, a Golden Valley nonprofit's difficult decision.
It's really heartbreaking.
Putting the brakes on a service many seniors relied on. Plus, a U.S. senator makes a stop in Golden Valley touting a bill that she says Congress needs to pass now. But first, a break in an armed robbery spree that included a Maple Grove restaurant. 12 News starts right now. A man suspected of robbing a Maple Grove Burger King and several other businesses along I-94 is under arrest.
Maple Grove police teamed up with several other law enforcement agencies to make that arrest last night. 12 News reporter Delane Cleveland joins us now to explain. Delane?
Mike and Alex, Maple Grove police say this arrest wouldn't have been possible had it not been for the tips they received thanks to the media exposure. Right now, police say they aren't looking for any other suspects. The robbery at the Maple Grove Burger King happened early Wednesday morning. Surveillance video from that day showed a white male wearing a black ski mask and carrying a semi-automatic handgun. After ordering 2 employees into the cooler, he then escaped in a dark-colored Dodge Durango. Maple Grove police say that vehicle and the public's help played a key role in the arrest.
Our police department works diligently on crimes against persons similar to this case, and it was very important for our city. It's important for our police department to make sure that whoever was responsible was immediately apprehended, and that's why we were aggressive once he was identified.
Maple Grove police say that it's still an active investigation and detectives are working on leads to solidify their case. However, Mike and Alex, they expect formal charges to be filed soon, and right now the suspect is currently being held in the Wright County Jail.
All right. Thanks a lot, Delane.
Thank you, Delane. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar was in Golden Valley today trying to drum up support for a farm bill.
There are deep divisions over the bill, including issues like food stamps. Klobuchar is part of a House-Senate conference committee that will try to work out a compromise. Eric Nelson joins us now with more. Eric?
Well, Alex and Mike, Senator Klobuchar played a key role in ending the government shutdown. Now she wants to end gridlock with the farm bill. It's an issue Klobuchar is passionate about and says the bill needs to get passed immediately.
If we don't get a new farm bill, we go back to the farm bill of 1949. So we can party like it's 1949, but we won't really be partying because it will mean that milk prices are going to double. Many of our crops, like soybeans and others, there's really not provisions in place. The conservation programs, the energy programs simply aren't in place.
The farm bill is a hot potato issue in D.C., but not at Second Harvest Heartland in Golden Valley. Klobuchar toured that food bank today. She says the farm bill will actually help reduce U.S. debt by $24 billion. Klobuchar also emphasized that a nutrition program is a key part of the bill.
In an average month in 2012, the SNAP program part of the bill helped almost 47 million low-income Americans afford nutritious meals. Nearly 72% of SNAP participants are families with children. A quarter of them are households with seniors or people with disabilities.
Minnesota, of course, is fertile ground in this debate. It is the 6th largest agricultural exporting state in the USA. Mike?
All right, thanks, Eric. New Hope officials are taking a hard line against a restaurant that's been caught twice this year selling alcohol to minors. Agua Brava on Bass Lake Road has been fined $750 and will lose their liquor license for up to 15 days. The city council members told them this week that 2 violations in 1 year is not acceptable. They threatened to cancel the liquor license altogether if there is a 3rd violation. Well, PRISM is putting the brakes on what many call an essential service in the Northwest Metro.
PRISM Express has offered low-cost transportation for nearly 3 decades. And as Renee Bonneau reports, its loss could leave many clients in the lurch.
I pick people up to go to the doctor and to hair appointments and to lunch and shopping.
Alice Gillia spent much of her career behind the wheel.
Well, we're going to pick up my first rider.
But she says driving for PRISM Express goes beyond offering a basic need.
You think of transportation as just taking someone to the doctor and back, but with PRISM it was more than that. It was a way of life. It was a social thing.
We have to look at programs that are sustainable for the next 40 years.
PRISM's board members say offering this service comes at a steep cost.
The challenges that the economy has faced. We have to tighten our belt and make sure that we are focusing on what we do best.
Monday, the board voted unanimously to cut 2 of its transportation programs, the Auto Repair Shop and PRISM Express.
Both of those programs are very costly, and the problem is that there isn't the funding for them. Now, if there were the funding for them, we could continue indefinitely, but transportation programs like this are very difficult to fund.
The auto shop ended service this week, but over the course of the next month, PRISM Express will close its doors.
PRISM says it'll work with its customers to refer them to similar programs in the area. Gilly and the other drivers will be let go, but she says she's not worried about herself.
It's really heartbreaking for me because I think this service is so important. I've gotten to know the riders, and I know how much they appreciate having a convenient ride.
The board says this allows PRISM to focus on its core programs such as the food shelf and homelessness prevention. PRISM's Ways to Work car ownership program will continue.
Well, if you haven't gotten the flu shot yet, state health officials say that now is the time. At least 4 people have been hospitalized in recent weeks with confirmed cases of the flu, and 3 schools have reported outbreaks of flu-like illnesses. Researchers from the Minnesota Department of Health say they haven't seen enough cases to officially say the flu season has begun, but it usually peaks in late December or January. While the flu vaccine isn't perfect, it's still the best tool to protect yourself.
In some years, it maybe only provides 60% effectiveness. Other years maybe less, other years more, but that's still better than zero protection.
Last year, more than 3,000 people in Minnesota were hospitalized with influenza. A total of 231 people died. Coming up, a weekend dinner outing that will keep you in suspense.
How a Robbinsdale restaurant is mixing in a murder mystery with the meal. Then later in sports, spots in the state soccer tournament are on the line. We'll have the highlights from a rainy night.
But first, an AccuWeather forecast that may make next week feel more like mid-November than mid-October. An update now on a story we brought you earlier this week. At the Jaguar Land Rover dealership in Golden Valley, the Carson Glore Foundation held its Classroom of Dreams live and silent auction Thursday night. It raised money for building classrooms in Kenya. The goal was $40,000. Well, the event ended up raising more than $51,000. The money will help build 2 new classrooms in a primary school west of Nairobi. Well, looking for a different dining experience.
At Nonna Rosa's in Robbinsdale, you can combine Italian cuisine with a dash of mystery. Neil Persley serves up the fare in today's Weekend Showcase.
When you arrive at Nonna Rosa's, you immediately become immersed in a large, boisterous Italian family.
In my world, the big Italian family is the most precious thing you can have. But at the same point in time, it is the most frustrating and exhausting, part of what makes you Italian.
This is the 3rd year the restaurant has hosted a Halloween murder mystery produced by Top Hat Theater.
I'm already married to my true love.
The restaurant. Tina always contacts me and asks me to write shows, specifically for the restaurant, and we kind of brainstorm and come up with ideas together on what might work well.
All right, a contest.
The story involves Nonna Rosa herself, who decides which family member will get her restaurant after she retires.
Oh, Nonna Rosa, I've got some really bad news.
It takes an unexpected turn as one of the characters is found murdered.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a little mystery with your meal, you found the perfect place.
It's intimate enough, in a small party room. Any kind of dinner theater events are usually very large scale format. This is really nice. The room's really small. You're right next to the actors. We even had a proposal at one of our shows last time, so it's a great date night.
In Robbinsdale, and oh, by the way,
she said yes, so that's good.
Neil Persley, 12 News.
The show runs every Thursday through Saturday through the end of October, and you can call Nonna Rosa's for times and reservations.
Coming up, a Robbinsdale reunion that has a good chance of topping all reunions.
But first in sports, Park Center's football team made some progress in the regular season, and they hope it leads to good things in the playoffs. Jay Wilcox says that and more when we come back. Jay Wilcox with sports now. Nothing quite like playing soccer in the rain, especially a game with a lot on the line here.
One good thing, artificial turf field made it a little bit less of a problem than it used to be, but it was a little bit of a miserable night. The Park Center Totino-Grace girls soccer teams each rolled through to the Section 5A final without allowing a goal. Something would have to give as the Pirates and Eagles met up for the section title. Grace's Nicole Newman makes a bid for a goal, but Pirates keeper Emily Nelson makes a diving save. And Park Center nearly gets one off a free kick, but the header is wide. This game is scoreless at halftime. With about 17 minutes left, Chase Miller volleys one ahead for Grace. Amanda Engelbrecht plays it around Nelson and has an open net, and she buries it. That's the only goal as Totino-Grace is headed back to the state tournament for a 13th time. They win this one 1-0. Like Park Center's girls, the Heritage Christian Academy boys were aiming for their first ever appearance in the state soccer tournament. Totino-Grace had other ideas as they met in an Eagles versus Eagles Section 5A title game, and a lot more rain to deal with in the boys game too. Nick Wilson gets a great shot here for Heritage, but Brandon Hilliard deflects it off the goalpost and then pounces on it. It's still 0-0 through the first half. In the second half, Wilson's free kick is headed in by Miguel Holguin as Heritage grabs a 1-0 lead on a pretty goal. But Totino-Grace answers about 8 minutes later as it's volleyed high in the air. Nick Tandeski gets his foot on it and lofts it over goalkeeper Jack Vandertop as the Grace Eagles tie it up 1-1. With under 8 minutes to play in regulation, Micah Rawl fires the long shot, and on a wet night, this one slips past Vandertop, and that's the game winner. Totino-Grace wins it 2-1. The regular season is in the books for local high school football teams. While many of the schools in our area play in Class 6A and won't have a playoff game until next Friday, the smaller schools jump into the postseason Tuesday. That includes a Park Center squad that's hoping to make some noise in the playoffs. Ask any of Park Center's opponents this fall. The Pirates have gotten better. They won 2 Northwest Suburban Conference games this season. It may not sound like a lot, but it's the first time the Pirates have won 2 league games since 2006.
It gave us a lot of confidence heading into the playoffs, knowing that we can beat those kind of teams and get big wins. It gives us confidence going into the sections.
Oh, it's huge. I think it gives the kids a lot of confidence going into the section game. And it's something that we've been trying to improve on over the last 2.5 years that we've been here, is to get some success in the conference and play some good football towards the end of the season.
They did take a tough loss against Elk River in the regular season finale, but Park Center is fired up for the playoffs. They are the 5th seed in Section 6 of Class 4A, and they should match up well with number 4 seed Fridley.
They're a good team, about balanced offense, good running back, and it should be a good game on Tuesday.
They kind of look similar to us. We just finished watching them on film, and they got some athletes, just like we do. Number-wise, looks like they're the same as we are. And so they spread the ball out, you know, very similar to what we do. So it'll be a challenge.
They didn't end up winning, but Park Center put a scare into Cooper in an upset bid in the playoff opener last fall. The guys remember that one well.
Oh yeah, that Cooper loss is still in our heads, and we're ready to make a run in these playoffs because we feel like we have a strong team and can play with the teams in our section.
An injury to starting quarterback Parker Miller a couple of weeks back didn't help their cause, but the Pirates are ready to tackle any foe in front of them. After all, it's playoff time. Park Center plays at Fridley Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, and we'll hear from the Cooper Hawks as they get set for their playoff opener coming up Monday at 4 o'clock here on 12 News. So it will be interesting to see a lot of teams they haven't faced before and see how they can do in the playoffs.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay.
You're welcome.
In Local Vote 2013, one topic for Wayzata School Board candidates is the district's rapid growth.
Today we hear from 2 more of the 9 candidates running, Chris McCullough and Andrea Keene.
I'm Andrea Keene, and I'm running for Wayzata School Board. As a mom, a volunteer, and a district employee, I've been inspired by so many people that work to make our schools great. But most of all, I'm inspired to run for school board by our students. I believe every child in the Wayzata schools deserves an education that meets their individual needs and sparks in them a lifelong love of learning. If elected, I'll approach each decision with an open mind. As I consider our most important issues, population growth, technology in the classroom, and education funding, I'll do my best to honor the fact that as your representative, the community is trusting me to listen, collaborate, and make the difficult decisions required to preserve Wayzata's tradition of excellence. Please consider a vote for me, Andrea Keene, on November 5th.
Hi, I'm Chris McCullough, and I'm running for the Wayzata School Board. My wife Pam and I have lived in the district for 11 years and have 2 daughters in 6th and 7th grade at East Middle School. I think I would be a great addition to the school board because I'm fiscally responsible and bring a parent's perspective. I've served on several school district committees, including the Citizens Financial Advisory Council and the Community Task Force on Facilities, and I understand the issues we face as a district. I would approach school district issues in the same way I approach issues as an attorney, by listening, understanding the different perspectives, analyzing the options, and collaborating toward a solution. Finally, but most importantly, I truly care about our students, and I'm guided by doing what's best for each and every one of them. I would appreciate your vote on November 5th. If you would like to learn more, please visit my website at voteformccullough.com. Thanks for watching.
We will hear from more Wayzata candidates Monday and Tuesday. Well, still ahead, some Robbinsdale trivia.
We have a really big fact you may not know about the former Robbinsdale High School. We'll be
Well, finally, one very impressive reunion celebration.
Graduates of the former Robbinsdale High School are toasting the school's past this weekend. The 3-day event includes a Hall of Fame induction ceremony, pep fest, a party at the Medina Ballroom, a pancake breakfast, and a classic car show. Robbinsdale High School opened in 1936, but it closed in 1982. In that span, more than 22,000 students called themselves Robbinsdale Robins. In 1963, Robbinsdale High School had an enrollment of nearly 3,500 students, and it was the largest school in Minnesota.
It was like Leave It to Beaver days. It was the all-American school. We were #1 in about everything there is. We were the envy of all the other schools. We had the best sports teams, we had the best drama, we had the best band. We were huge, we were it.
Little Robbinsdale pride there, I think. Students from Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, Crystal, Golden Valley, New Hope, and Plymouth all went to Robbinsdale High School. And listen to this. In 1956, the Pittsburgh Steelers even trained there for a couple of weeks before playing at Parade Stadium in Minneapolis. And we got a couple of Robbinsdale Robins flying around here.
That's right. One of them is John Jacobson,
Yes.
and he's going to be the master of ceremonies at a couple of events this weekend.
It sounds plenty going on.
I hope they have a lot of folks. It'll be great.
That's it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you Monday.